guys, Olive here, and boy, does this feel better. What I want to talk about in this video is matching up fiction and nonfiction. This is something that I've periodically done in the past couple of years to encourage myself to introduce more fiction into my reading life. This could also work if you're not a huge reader of nonfiction and want to start reading more. I do this by selecting one work of fiction and one work of nonfiction that are somewhat similar or cover a similar ground, and then read them at the same time. By reading a nonfiction book and a fiction book that are about a very similar topic means that I'm getting a really great story out of a work of fiction. By reading the nonfiction book, I'm learning more about the setting or the characters or the time period, so on and so forth, that the fiction book covers. It has been very successful for me, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about it today. I have two examples for you today of times that I've done this in the past. Two books that I read together were Flapper, a madcap story of sex, style, and celebrity and the women who made America modern by Joshua Zeitz. And I read this alongside of Tender as the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald wrote in the 1920s, which was the time of the flapper. He wrote about the flapper and was married to a flapper, so I thought there would be no better fiction pick for this nonfiction book about flappers that I was super interested in than a book by Fitzgerald. I already knew a good deal about the 1920s and flappers, but reading Zeitz's book really just took it to a different level. I like that it talked about specific women during this time period, such as, of course, Zelda Fitzgerald, and then also Coco Chanel, Clara Bow, and many others. I can't say I was a big fan of Tender as the Night, but reading these two together was absolutely the right idea. The other two that I read together in the more recent past were Istanbul Passage by Joseph Cannon and Crescent and Star, Turkey Between Two Worlds by Stephen Kinzer. I won Istanbul Passage from a Goodreads giveaway, and while I'm not typically a reader of thrillers or books on espionage, this one immediately caught my interest, and I was so thrilled to receive a copy of it because it takes place in Istanbul, which is a place I desperately want to travel, so since I can't quite get there physically yet, I'll get there through a book first. This was a very fast-paced book, and it took place immediately following World War II, so you got a little bit of historical fiction in there as well. What I liked most about it was that it just superbly painted the city of Istanbul. It was so atmospheric. You really felt like you were there in Istanbul, and I just loved it. And reading it alongside of Crescent and Star, which is a really intelligent and concise, but also very thorough overview of Turkey's history since the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, was absolutely fascinating. While the book did have its flaws, I did learn a whole lot, and reading it alongside of Istanbul Passage made me be able to get into it even more, so I was very happy with that selection. There are also some matchups that I'm planning to read in the future, and I thought I'd give you one example of those. The nonfiction selection is In Spite of the Gods, The Strange Rise of Modern India by Edward Luce, alongside of A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mystery. A Fine Balance takes place in 1975 in India during what's called the emergency period, and I had no idea what that was until I heard that this book took place in it. So I'm really hoping that In Spite of the Gods, the nonfiction selection, will cover that. I, of course, will want to check through the book before I select it to make sure that it covers all the things that I want to learn about India. Please let me know down in the comments if this matching of a fiction book and a nonfiction book that cover similar grounds in order to get more out of both works sounds interesting to you, or if you've ever done it before, please let me know. If you have any examples of times where you've done this knowingly or unknowingly, or maybe some examples of works that you think might fit really well together in this way, please feel free to contact me. I am on both Twitter and Instagram at @BookOlive, and you can find the link to my Goodreads down below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.